Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I'm going to continue with the chakras. The one that's up next is the fifth chakra, which is vitally important to our well-being. The fifth chakra is the area of divine will, speaking your truth, but according to the divinity within you rather than the personality within you. It definitely does connect to the third chakra, which is the area of the personal will, but it has many different characteristics that bring it to a level that is much, much greater than the third chakra allows. You and most of humanity probably recognize that all of us live in the first, second, and third chakras. Only when you are increasing your spiritual capacity, your spiritual understanding, do you then open your heart, which allows passage to your upper chakras. The first of these is the divine will, the fifth chakra. I'm first going to go with the colors of the fifth chakra. They can range anywhere from the deepest midnight blue, almost bordering on black, to the lightest, palest of blue, just like a cloud covered sky with a thin haze. Rarely do I see aquamarine present in the bands of of the fifth chakra, but occasionally that too does exist. So I look at the fifth chakra as the center for communication, but the center that I align with the creator. So think of it that way. We're going to explore something that I have covered very lightly, but not, we're going to explore it a little bit more. First of all, the qualities associated with the fifth chakra is that it aligns you with speaking your truth, but speaking your truth according to your God self, speaking your divine truth. It conforms to the creativity inside of you. It gives voice to the everything that's creative. And you will see in a few minutes that creativity comes in many different forms. It relates to the authority inside of you. There are those on this planet that cannot tolerate authority figures. They just bristle when it comes to having anybody of authority speak to them, which makes it very, very hard to hold down a job. If you have that problem, then by all means, I encourage you, become an entrepreneur, be your own boss, do your own thing, but do it so that you have the ultimate control of your life. Um, this, there are certain professions that lend themselves, besides being a CEO, teaching is one of them. Any single joining a group, but then becoming part of the leadership of that group rather than just the worker bees. If you have innate managerial skills, then I absolutely encourage you to, if you are in the position where you don't need to have employment, volunteer and use those managerial skills to increase what you have, the innate abilities that you carry inside of you. The fifth chakra also relates to any talent that you use with a voice, includes singing. If you have singing skills, and the one of the most, well, heartbreaking plus heart rendering videos that I just recently saw on the internet, I didn't follow through because it just kept looping me around to the same song. But a little person, somewhere between 5 and 7, who came onto the stage, disheveled hair, dirty, dirty hair, dirty face, dirty clothes, patched clothes, not even anything new, with the most magnificent voice. So, and this is happening over and over and over. Babies are singing full songs to people. Um, People are posting this continuously. So these are all example of humans that are aligning with the fifth chakra. They already know what their purpose, that part of their purpose on this planet is to sing. Writing is a fifth chakra skill. Blogging, podcasts, writing a book, writing for screenplays, writing novels, writing your own history, doing anything that gives you the ability to influence somebody else. The organs associated with the fifth chakra, obviously, the throat, the thyroid, the trachea, the neck, all the vertebrae in that upper area, the mouth, the thymus, the thoracic area, the parathyroid, and the hypothalamus. It's hypothalamus is very interesting because it's a butterfly shaped um, organ that regulates the hormones in our body. So anything that where you have fatigue probably starts in the fifth chakra, again, related to the third chakra. The hypothalamus is also related to keeping your body balanced, but it's related to the nervous system and to what we call, doctors call homeostasis. So this is very critical. How to reset the hypothalamus naturally. Um, I'm only going to go over these because I see the same items time and time and time again. The first thing they start with is diet, natural foods, unprocessed foods, heavy on greens, heavy on um, uh, just things that nature produces. Root vegetables can be roasted. You keep all the vitamins inside of them. Limiting your sugar, your fat, your oils. Obviously, eliminating processed foods as much as you can, but including vitamin B12 and vitamin C. Another way to regulate this area of your body is stress management. At the top of the list is meditation. Giving yourself even 5 minutes is better than nothing. So, stretching, walking, being in nature, deep breathing. And recently on PBS, they have a wonderful series called Aging Backwards. All it is using your body to flow from one side to the other, using your limbs in very big movements, but being very, very purposeful with your actions. Regular exercise, and this can be as simple as walking around the house. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't need special equipment for it. Um, in terms of other foods that might be very good for you besides the leafy greens, walnuts, salmon, flaxseed, chia seed, berries, and avocados. Most people and berries, and especially blueberries, since they are the color of the fifth chakra. And plums, there are certain plums that have a very deep blue sheen to them. So look for them. The mental and the emotional issues. This covers your ability to choose according to what is best for you. It's the personal strength that you have according to your personal will. It was interesting because before I started on my spiritual path, I was under chiropractic care for 14 years. And he had a special way of checking the chakras. And the only chakra that tested weak for me was the fifth chakra. And it tested weak because I continuously refused to give voice to what I knew I had to do. So if you have that same need, absolutely follow that. And with that is following one's dream, the personal power to create the dream that you have for yourself. It might involve 150 steps. It might involve 1,000 steps. You will not be allowed to eliminate them. And just wishful thinking won't do it. Following a certain thread of work ethic, of steps, of processes to get your dream um, into fruition is what will happen. Addictions belong as a mental and emotional issue to the fifth chakra. Addictions are trying to eliminate your own ability to do, to get to a place that you want to get to, but putting something else in its place. Judgment and criticism, fifth chakra issue. Judgment and criticism almost always comes through vocal or written means. And so, interestingly enough, the whole world is watching as we pass judgment on what the current administration is doing. Find the steps that other people are taking to express their attitude towards what is happening in our government and align with what it is that you align with and give voice to that. Faith and knowledge. It's interesting. Faith is something you accept for yourself without having proof. I love the statement that Einstein said, if you believe in miracles, no proof is necessary. If you don't believe in miracles, no proof is possible. So please do remember that. That's faith. Knowledge, direct download from God. Just anything that God tells you, gives you, that comes through knowledge. Your ability to make decisions, that's another mental and emotional issue. Physical dysfunctions. If you have a raspy throat, if you have a chronic sore throat, even by chronic, I even mean if it regularly comes once a year, if you have mouth ulcers, and if you have gum difficulties, periodontal disease. I know in, I think it was my 30s, could have been my early 40s, that I had to have complete periodontal treatment um, because of the fact that if I didn't, he said I was at risk of losing all my teeth. Um, Joint problems, clicking and locking of the jaw. And this is called temporomandibular joint problems. If you have swollen glands, if you have thyroid problems, and again, that's a small butterfly shaped gland. It's at the front of your neck and it regulates the body's hormones. It regulates your metabolic energy levels. And so, if you're going through periods of stress, you will have it, you could easily have re, problems related to fifth chakra issues. Ask to be told by your own guides, what am I not doing that I should be doing? What am I not saying that I should be saying? What am I not singing that I should be singing? What am I not speaking or writing that I should be? And if you have esophageal problems, and the esophagus, it's very interesting. The first time that I had problems with an esophagus was when I was in sixth grade, and a piece of kielbasa, one of the grizzles in the piece of kielbasa, got stuck in my throat and stayed there for 6 months. I could feel every time I swallowed how I was being affected, but until that was ready to release, nothing I did would make a difference. So the last thing I wanted to cover was, I had mentioned that speaking, writing, singing, teaching, art, drawing, all of these are communication items, and communication is your fifth chakra issue. And when you communicate what it is that you came here to do, then you are in alignment with God's will. But if you keep avoiding it, things are going to happen to you that are going to kind of push you towards the communication. So please recognize that you need to align with your divine purpose. I'm going to end with one very charming little story on being able to communicate, and not exactly an inanimate object because this was a fly, but I've told this before, but it totally fits uh, into this passage today. So there was in this, I think it was January of last year, a horsefly that got stuck in our house, and it stayed upstairs for maybe 5 to 7 days, and then finally found its way downstairs. and was buzzing back and forth in the living room window. Obviously, could see the trees outside, but couldn't get there. So I sat very quietly with my hands elevated on the armchair, on the armrest of the couch. And I just said to it, calm down and listen to me. Land on my hand. I will very carefully, very gently walk you outside. I will go to the front door. I will open the door. I will put my hand outside the door and I'll flick you off my hand and you'll be free. So within about a minute, the fly landed on my hand and I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And as I was doing it, I also was talking to it and was telling it to stay calm, that this is what was happening and exactly what was coming next. I came to the front door because this was on my left hand. I came to the front door, opened the door with my right hand, was able to walk to the open door, stuck my left hand outside, flicked the fly off, and I felt immense gratitude from the fly as it took off. Flies usually don't show up in January. This one did. And interestingly enough, this happened a second time, maybe 4 months later, 5 months later, but this is now kind of in late spring. So I know positively that you can communicate with anything. You do not have to wait to communicate with another human being. You can communicate with your guides, you can communicate with God, you can communicate with your ancestors, you can communicate with inanimate objects, and this, and of course the beings that I love the most are the angels because they're the ones that I feel are your protectors, our protectors, and they give us so much joy, so much gratitude, so much to be grateful for. So I will, I apologize for being late. I was about 15 minutes late today, but I will do my best to be here at 1 o'clock next week, Friday. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a wonderful Father's Day if that's in your itinerary. If not, just have a great weekend. And I will see you next week.